We are now joined by our race winner, driver Kevin Harvick, driver of the number 29 Budweiser Chevrolet. Obviously a big win for you guys, one that you've been searching for this season for a long time, so talk a little bit about finally getting to victory lane.
Yeah, it was an interesting day to say the least, but Gil did a great job of keeping us in the track position game and made our car better all day. And the further we got towards the front, the better the car handled. They made good adjustments, and there at the end we had a couple restarts, and Kyle chose the bottom, and we were able to drive around the top side of him and then get control of the race, really. So obviously we didn't want to see the red flag. We're about, best I've heard is about 5 feet. Somebody can tell me where the caution came out. But when I came by, I saw the caution light come on. I saw the flag before we had gotten to the start-finish line. So at that point you think about, man, it's 2012. What's going to go wrong? Where are we going to run out of gas? And once we got those thoughts out of our head, or out of my head, I just wanted to get a good restart and be able to get into turn one and not have any mistakes, and knew if we could get through there without any mistakes that we could at least have a fighting chance of taking control of the bottom of the racetrack in turn 3 and 4.
All right, we'll open it up for questioning for Kevin. Okay, let's start with David Newton right here.
Man, you got a haircut, didn't you?
Do what?
You got a pretty tight haircut, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, it was bad. So
Yeah.
kind of like
Looking good, man. It's like you're like maybe 5, 6 years younger.
Yeah, it's kind of like the end of the race. It kind of put a few more back on me though. What? Kind of go back. I mean, Brad came in here and said he was basically ashamed of the sport. Said it was effing bullshit what happened out there at the end on a lot of fronts between what happened there with you and the wrecks and the retaliation and all. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you can't throw the caution flag as fast as you can throw it one time and then just let everybody run through a whole straightaway full of oil. So, those are the guys who are going to have to look themselves in the mirror and figure out who's calling the races and decide if they're doing a good job. The fights? The sport was made on fights. We should have more fights. I like fights. Were they real fights? We like real fights. We like real fights, don't we?
Okay.
They're not always fun to be in. Sometimes you wind up with being on the wrong end, but fights are what made NASCAR what it is, right?
That's exactly. Hey, they said that I wouldn't stand next to you in winner's circle. Does this look like I won't stand next to you?
Yeah.
I was there.
I can tell you guys, because I know the question's going to come. You guys are all going to ask the question, so we're going to say it in front of each other. We can all talk about what's going to happen in 2014. We have 2012. We have 2013. And regardless of what happens on a business side of things, Richard Childress and myself will always be friends, good or bad, and may disagree, but we still have a lot of racing left to do, and we owe it to our sponsors and our company to go out and do exactly what we did today and be men and do the best we can for everybody.
All right. We are now joined by race-winning crew chief Gil Martin and team owner Richard Childress. So we'll continue with questioning for either the three of these gentlemen. Raise your hands. I've kind of lost count of who all raised their hand. Anybody? Anybody else? Okay.
Well, can we have Richard also speak to that, Wally?
Yeah, Kevin said it all. We're going to go to Homestead, try to win. We owe it to everybody in 13 to go win a championship, and whatever happens. It's a business decision. This is a business sport.
Then can you guys just all three of you talk about today and kind of, I guess a lot of people would have thought that might have been a distraction, and then obviously today you just went about your business and did it.
Well, I think it's in the end there can be distractions, there can be whatever happening around the racetrack, off the racetrack, but when you get in that garage and everybody's doing their jobs, I get in the car, he's up on the trailers. I mean, we're all just racers in the end. We want to race cars, and it comes with a lot of media, it comes with a lot of things that outside of the racetrack, but when we actually get into our element, we all do our jobs regardless, and we all don't want to go out and embarrass ourselves and not run good, and we want to be exactly where we are right here, talking to you guys after the race and in victory lane and doing the things that make us all happy. And it's been a frustrating year, but 2 races to go, here we are.
Only thing I can say is I'm really glad to be sitting here looking at you guys.
Gil Martin made a great call today. Kevin did a great job conserving fuel when we had to, and Gil told him to go, and he could pick up a couple of tenths, and it was really a good race strategy call. We lost the race, we felt, here. The first one, we finished second, but we ran out of gas catching Denny there, so we were on.
All right. Let's go to the press box.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. I know, Richard, that you were highly upset about the fact that the race was put into overtime because you felt the caution should come out before the green-white checker was allowed. Now, are you pleased that what was done was just, or are you only pleased because you won the race anyway?
No, I'm really disappointed in the way the race was called, and I asked them, Kevin almost wrecked coming off of 4. We take the white flag. She's coming across down here. Everybody's seen what was happening. I just knew the caution was going to come out, and he races back around and almost wrecks, and we lose a car and could hurt a driver. So I'm just still a little upset about that last not being a caution.
There was more oil than there was asphalt. I
Yes.
can guarantee you that. It was very visible.
dangerous.
Any
I'm sure I'll
additional
get in
questions?
trouble for that.
Any additional questions for upstairs? All right, we'll move back downstairs. Okay, let's go to Brian right behind you.
Brian Nelson, Motor Racing Network. Richard, I mean, after the weekend that you had here, I mean, what is this? Some kind of redemption? I mean, how do you kind of wrap your arms and put a bow on this weekend?
I feel like it's a Kentucky weekend. Remember when we went to Kentucky and we used to test all the time, and we won the first Kentucky race and wrecked 11 cars?
Yep, you're right.
This one, what was it, 8? 8.
So we wrecked 8 cars. My week got off in a bad start Tuesday night, and from that point on, it hadn't been really great. But, that's life.
This one started off okay.
Yeah, today was great.
This week has started off better.
All right, continue with questioning for Richard, Gil, or Kevin. Okay, let's go to Lee right here, up front.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Just wondering, after a 44 race drought, Richard, what do you think is the turnaround from, where you have been? Because you guys have really struggled, and you can't expect Eric Warren to come in and change things overnight. But, what would you point to having 3 cars that possibly could have finished in the top 10 today before the 31 got taken out?
Everybody's worked hard all year long and did a whole lot, and there's no question about it. We got a little behind on some of this skew and all the stuff that people were doing, and it put us behind. And we didn't get the year we wanted, but to come out with a win, it was big, and I couldn't be prouder of this whole team, Budweiser and Kevin and all these guys. It was really a good week.
Okay, let's go to Lewis.
Lewis Frank Reuters. Kevin, hi.
Sorry, we're watching the video.
That's okay.
I was trying to figure out what Jeff Gordon was mad at.
It's a lot more interesting than me.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Kevin, you've been around a while. This is in reference to Brad came in here, and he was very hurt. He said some people in the garage criticized him after a clean race. He raced Jimmy cleanly. Did you hear anybody, you don't have to mention names, but did you hear anybody in the garage criticizing Keselowski's driving?
No. I mean, he races hard. I mean, why would you criticize a guy that races hard and in contention to win a championship? So, I think there's maybe a lot of agendas to try to get in his head, but at this point, it's he's got a 20-point lead, and he's the only one in control of his head at this point. So, if the wheels don't fall off, he's going to win a championship.
Any additional questions for Kevin, Gil, or Richard? Well, let's end on a positive note. Keelan's first trip to Victory Lane, how'd he do?
He was fine until everybody started screaming. Made him cry. But, it was great to have everybody here. We've had a great week. We had a lot of great foundation events and change the lives of a lot of kids in Bakersfield, hopefully to better their education and their direction of their life. So it's been a great week, and to cap it off like this is a great way.
All right, we thank you guys.
I
Congratulations.
just want to cap off
Okay,
one
go
thing,
ahead.
though, real quick, to touch on what Richard was saying, where we've come a long way, but this victory is a big team deal from Paul Menard and Slugger. We have started working together so hard here in the last month, and I want to put out a big thanks to those guys because they've done a great job as far as working teammates and try to win Homestead.
Yeah, and I mean halfway through practice, we decided to stop and put in everything out of the 27 car, and that's really the way it's supposed to work. We put it in and adjusted it to my driving style, and that's great to see.
All right, congratulations. We'll see you guys
Thank
in
you.
Homestead.
You get what you need?